He goes, yeah. He goes, that's why I had to do what I had to do and say what I had to say during it. He goes, because it reconfirmed everything, because she really thought that Jesse had everything to do with that, and fucking she just took the bait and ran with it. And she was like, he was coming after me, so I had to do it.
How stupid was Libra to say?
This is another thing you have to say to her, right? Be like, Keisha, if you guys are all in alliance together, who do you think's the first person that's going to get bumped out?
Oh, I already got that in my speech.
Okay,
I've been thinking about this since last night.
Oh, good. Well, you saw me get up.
Yeah, no, I know you did. I knew exactly what you were doing.
I couldn't even fucking sleep last night, thinking, because guess what, girl? This is the time that we start getting crazy. What do we got to lose? We got
the way that I look at it. The way that I look at it is, I'm just going to go in and tell her is like, by these nominations that you made, you kind of like threw the outsiders together now, and it's like, so that's just kind of like reconfirming, the fact that, after I talked to Michelle and them, they were kind of like awestruck that you even nominated Jesse. Like, I expected to be nominated, and so I went to them and basically they're just like, why didn't we go against the plan? That the plan's always the plan or whatever. I'm going to talk to her about Steven and all that. And then I'm going to just say, you know what? I'm the obvious choice to be up on the block. And if, to be honest with you, I probably can't go another week living with Libra, so I would feel more comfortable staying on the block against Libra. So if the house decides to keep Libra in, so be it. I don't have to live with Libra anymore, but if the house decides to keep me and get rid of Libra, then so be it.
Are you going to promise her anything about being safe?
Yeah, I think that Keisha should be one of the last people we should.
Yeah, because I'm not worried about her at all. Even though she did this, I think that she didn't get every bit of information, and she got bullied into doing it. Like, they're like leeches right now.
I'm going to also tell her, let's be honest with you. When is the last time that Libra and April have been up your ass this much since we've been here?
Or be like, if anything, the only thing that they've done is get into fights with you, talk about you, call you this, call you that, because, that's exactly what they've been doing too. Libra was blaming them for the
What I'm also going to say is, like, the way that you feel about Steven this week, you can only imagine how I feel, because it's happened to me twice in 2 weeks.
I'm just so glad that I went to talk to her, because if I didn't go talk to her and mention to her about the Steven deal that everybody made, she would have still thought it was just Jesse. I go, Keisha, you know as well as I know that fucking Jesse wanted fucking Rennie out. I go, they asked him to do that, and that they promised that Rennie would go up this week. And she's like, are you fucking serious? I'm like, I'm fucking serious. I was like, I was up there. I'm not, and I don't know what else they told them, but they obviously are targeting you too, because they have to. She's thinking that you're coming after her for some reason. I don't know.
Well, I'm going to clarify that for her too. And she's like, I don't know if you think that I'm a threat to you.
As long as we also, like I said, she knows that I'm friendly with you, but she doesn't think we're in an alliance. She already asked me a few times, and I said, nope, I'm friends with her. Obviously, she's the first person I talked to when I walked in the place, and she was the one that eyed a bed for me. And I was like, and obviously, whatever people think, I said, of me and Jesse, I said, obviously. So I said, I'm very sad about, your decisions and stuff like that. I said, but, I thought we were just all sticking with the plan. And she's like, well, everything changed when the plan got changed on me last week. I'm like, that's when I go, what are you talking about? So if, like Memphis said, he came with me, he goes, make sure that we don't put ourselves lined up. And she's already talked to Jesse about me, so she's got to assume that me and Jesse have a close thing. But she's never asked, after that time that she asked me that one time about me and you, she only asked me once, and she's never asked me about Memphis. If we keep it that way, then next week, we just fucking, one of us has got to win HOH. Have to. And I'm putting up, if I win, I'm putting up Ali and fucking April. okay? And you know what I'm going to say? I'm going to go, well, I'm just sitting here getting rid of the rest of Brian's alliances. Right?
No. What it can say is that you can say is, Angie was up on the block, and I don't really think it's fair that Steve and Angie were on the block and you guys weren't.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm going to use, right? Because right off the bat.
And you can also say that you guys changed the plan on us.
Oh yeah, which I'm not going to. I don't even have to mention that because I don't want the rest of the house to. Because I know that everybody knows, but I think that saying it that way because I think people keep forgetting that April and Ali were in a fucking alliance with them. They want to point the fingers at everybody else, but what about who makes them any better? Who makes them any fucking different? I know I wasn't fucking alliance with them, so that's what I'm gonna fucking do. And then the week after, whoever doesn't get out, I'm gonna put them and Jerry up. Or Rennie. Rennie's really fucking pissing me off.
I just want you to know, without Jesse and Memphis being here, like, anything that I did or agreed upon or said, the whole Brian Steven thing, always included you. And I think you know that because Brian told you that I was trying to include you.
No, he told me that anybody in this house that we said something about, like, sticking up for you. Because I said, he's like, you come in this house by yourself. I go, you know what? I don't expect anybody to try to help me or anything. I walked in by myself, and I'm leaving by myself. I said so. And he's like, well, I'll tell you one thing. He's like, Angie always defended you and always spoke about you. And then not even 2 minutes later, him and Jerry, because I think Jerry was kind of getting a little bit mad because he kept telling me, you're getting the alliances mixed up. And I'm like, no, Jerry, there's more than 5. You know what I'm saying? And Jerry and both Brian were like, well, we were going to put you in our alliance. We just hadn't got to you yet. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, were you guys going to do that when I was out the week after and I was going to call in my vote from home? It just, well, it was
just so you know, that would have never happened. I'm just telling you that because that's why. Because I knew that if things didn't go down the way, being friends with Brian or whatever, and like with him being out of the house, like if he would have stayed in the house and it didn't go down the way it did, like there would be no way that I would have I
still wonder. I'm like, what happens if all that shit didn't come out? Where would we be at right now?
It'd be a completely different house.
It'd be crazy. It would be crazy. And she's got to understand, too, that this is so important for her to do this because those 3 are running the house right now because if you think about it, them 2, whatever, or there's other people involved that started the whole alliance breakup. That was week 1. Week 2, Jesse won. People literally attacked him on the thing.
All of a sudden, it's like...
Okay. They did what they got Jesse to do what they wanted to do. As soon as something else, they jumped ship and they went and lynched onto them. And a week ago, they were telling her, fucking Keisha, they didn't fucking trust her. They called her a floater to her face. And she was telling me, she was like, I feel like I'm on the outside. She goes, like I felt last week. And I was like, honestly, I said, you're more closer to them. So when everybody was up there, I think I just assumed that you knew what was going on. I said, and obviously, I said, maybe it was a good idea that you guys didn't tell me who you guys were putting up this week. Maybe that was one of your things because you figured maybe because I'm close with whatever. I said, but she's like, well, now you know how I feel because that's how I felt last week. And I was like, so basically you feel like you're on the outside looking in? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, on the outside looking in on what, 3 people that are fucking doing everything? Like that we were looking through this thing?
Yeah. I'll be back if you want to stay out here.